Hello, I am Alexis Owens, and I'm an education specialist here at the Alabama State Department of Education with the Child Nutrition Programs. Today, we'll be going through the Summer Food Service Program training, and I will be giving you a brief overview on all the components that you will see today. So our staff here at the State Department of Education in the Child Nutrition Program, our director is Mrs. Angelise Lowe. Our administrator is Mrs. Debbie Harris, and then our staff that will be working with you throughout the summer will be Ms. Tiffany Bedgood, Kiana Grant, Regina Greathouse, Lakeisha Love, Melanie McCord-Judkins, Alexis Owens, Teresa Patterson, Yolanda Terrell, and Angelique Walters. The guidelines for today. For participation in SFSP, training is required. You will receive information regarding SFSP training, the application to be submitted for new sponsors, a list of SFSP record-keeping forms, state agency representative, and SFSP resources. A complete application, which includes your documents and online portal, must be submitted and approved in order to operate SFSP for the fiscal year of 2024. The application is due before June 15th. You can email your application at the email address below, or you can send it to the fax number. If you've ever had the chance to visit our website, you can go to Break for a Plate, and that's where you'll see some information about the summer feeding program. Our theme is that school may be out, but no child should be left hungry. You can feed them. Kids and teens eat free this summer, and this is brought to you by the Alabama State Department of Education and the USDA. And to find your local site, go to breakforaplate.com/summer, or you can call 211 or text food to 304-304. So the introduction. The USDA Summer Food Service Program relies on innovative and collaborative efforts to reach children in need. The USDA encourages collaborations with valued partners at the national, state, and local levels to raise awareness about the nutrition gap low-income children face when schools close for the summer and the availability of summer meals to close this gap. The SFSP was established to ensure that low-income children continue to receive nutritious meals when school is not in session. Free meals that meet federal nutrition guidelines are provided to all children at approved SFSP sites in areas with significant concentrations of low-income children. The SFSP operates during school vacations, primarily in the summer months from May through September. It may also provide meals during vacation breaks in schools that are operated on a year-round basis or a continuous school calendar, or during emergency school closures from October through April. USDA's Food and Nutrition Service administers the SFSP at the national and regional levels. Within each state, the program is administered by the State Department of Education or an alternate state designated agency. Locally, public or private nonprofit organizations that want to sponsor the program apply or approved by the state agency to operate the program. These sponsoring organizations sign program agreements with their respective state agencies and are responsible for overseeing program operations. Sponsors receive federal reimbursement from the state agency to cover the administrative and operating costs of preparing and serving meals to eligible children at one or more meal sites. You must demonstrate financial viability, administrative capability, and program accountability, known as VCA. This is an acronym that you will hear throughout this program. You cannot be seriously deficient. We serve low-income children. You should be able to conduct a nonprofit food service, provide year-round service in the community, exercise management control over sites, competitively procure food, maintain all documents for 3 years plus the current year, and you can go to those federal codes to see the requirements for sponsor participation. As a site supervisor, here are some of the responsibilities that you should do. I won't go through all of these bulletin items, however, you can breeze through them at your leisure. So the first one says to prepare or order only the number of meals needed. You should count the meals as they are received. You should serve the meal only during the approved meal service time. You should encourage the children to try new foods. Summer is actually a great time to expose our children to foods that they may have never tasted, they may have never seen before. So we do encourage this. You should claim for reimbursement only meals that are served during the approved meal times and communicate to the sponsor if approved meal times need to be altered. But lastly and most importantly, you should have fun. This is just a snippet of the program meal pattern. Later in this presentation, you will see or you'll hear from a specialist go into detail about the meal patterns that you should follow for the summer food program. So for breakfast, in order to be claimed as a reimbursable meal, you should select all three components. So that means you should have a milk, one fruit/vegetable, and one grain/bread. For lunch, in order for it to be considered as reimbursable, you must select all four components. So it must be a milk, a fruit or vegetable, a grain, and one meat or meat alternative. And for snack, you can select two of the four components. So the required meal components. Your breakfast must contain one serving of milk, one serving of a vegetable, fruit, or full strength 100% juice, one serving of grain or bread. For lunch or supper, it must contain one serving of milk, two or more servings of vegetables and or fruit, and one serving of meat or meat alternate. And for snack, any of the two out of the four components. So here's just a graph for you to actually visualize the numbers that we have served throughout the state from 2020 through 2023. If you look at this graph, these are the number of participants in the summer food program. So in 2020, there was 358,821. In 21, you have 521,445. 22, you have 160,564, and in 2023, you have 150,275. I'm sure you're probably looking at the graph at this moment, and you see that 2020 and 2021 had the highest number of participants. And of course, I'm sure you are all aware that those 2 years were our biggest years due to COVID. And so we had a lot of participants. We had a lot of schools and daycares and family daycare homes that were under this program, and they were eligible. There were a lot of waivers that were in place at that time. So just about anyone could eat during this time. So that's why you'll notice that those 2 years were significantly higher than the last 2 years. And then here are the actual number of meals that were served from 2020 to 2023. And once again, you can see that there is a huge difference in the years of 2020 and 2021 versus 2022 and 2023. Ultimately, we still served a lot of meals throughout the state of Alabama. So for your SFSP site locator, you can text food to 304-304, or you can call the number on your screen. You can also text summer meals to the number listed below at 914-342-7744 to help families connect to local summer meal sites. And here are some resources. You can jot down these websites, or you can go back and refer to this training session. If you're looking for the Summer Food Service Program rules and regulations, you can click on that link, or you can go to that link. One thing that we always encourage our sponsors to do is to go out there from time to time and look at some of the USDA regulations, because a lot of things do tend to change. A lot of policies change, and they change continuously. So there may have been something that was approved 2 years ago when we were in COVID, but it may not be the same thing now. So this is a good resource for you to have. There's also a resource for administrative guidance for sponsors, for site supervisors, and then of course our break for a plate that has a plethora of information on there. And then of course the USDA Food and Nutrition Service. And this concludes my part of the presentation for today. If you have any questions, you can send all questions to sfsp@alsde.edu or llove@alsde.edu. Thank you.